I am going to do my best to convince you that this is what Jesus was saying.
I don't even know what a multi-simulation theory is.
It's like what Elon Musk tells you is happening, where it's like there's actually a kid on a computer who got, if we are able to make AI now and do this stuff, well, the natural progression of life is that, at some point we're going to get so advanced that we're going to be able to make a simulation on a computer of a world.
Okay.
And they're like real people. And so it's like a kid on a computer screen, like your son Isaac could then it got so advanced that he's like, hey, I'm gonna make a simulation of a universe.
Like he's playing Minecraft. Dude,
he just created it.
He already plays a universe simulator game where you can create planets and like watch them interact with the gravity and stuff.
Now put that on like a scale of 20 billion, where if life naturally progresses, our technology progresses, that you would be able to do that. So the question is, how is that not already happened?
Right. So the theory
is the first time?
Right. Is the theory that already happened and we're living in that simulation?
Yeah. Are we just living? Because it is
possible that could happen.
Allegedly, that's possible. If that could happen.
At some point the technology gets far enough along. Well, if that's true that could happen, then
what are the chances that we are the first to do that?
Right.
Which would be very low.
Right. It would have already perhaps happened, and we are living in that simulation.
So
it's the Matrix, basically.
It's the Matrix, exactly. And then all these people are acting like they came up with this thought. It's like, no, you didn't.
Okay.
They came out in 1999.
Tell us what Jesus said.
So Jesus said that and we've mentioned this on the show many times on messages, if you even look at a woman, that you have committed adultery.
Okay.
Here's my theory, Josh. What if that is actually true? What if it's literally true because your brain is so powerful? And here's the difference between, I'm jumping all over the place, but just follow my train of thought. What is the difference between animals and humans? Animals are not capable of making a simulation in their mind of, if I do this, here's the consequence. But if I chase this thing and eat this thing, this is what's going to happen. They cannot make a avatar of themselves and play it out in real time in their mind to find what the natural conclusion is going to be to not do something.
They just have an instinctual...
Instincts.
Yeah.
I was punished when I killed a chicken. I'm not going to do that anymore.
Right.
There's not a
That
thought
hurt.
of, I'm not going to do anything. I'm not going to do that again just because you have to train their instincts.
Okay.
Humans are different, and why we can do things is because if I am... Say you lust after a woman.
Lusting.
Well, in your mind, you're taking it to that natural conclusion.
Yes.
But you don't do it. But you have created an avatar that has done that. So, Jesus is saying, what if Jesus is saying, hey, when you do that, you're literally creating, you're the only being in the universe who can create avatars and other of yourself doing something. You're literally able to make yourself be doing that in your mind.
Yeah.
But you cannot do that, and you can go a different path. So what if Jesus was actually hinting at this multi-simulation thing where it's like, well, then once somebody has just completely given in and they're just watching porn all the time, think of how many avatars they are making. It's like a pie chart. How many avatars are they making of themselves doing this over and over and over? Then they start to change as they're the one being, like the being who is making the simulation, the little kid at the computer screen making the simulation.
Yeah.
He then starts to change, like the original, the original person making the avatars. He then starts to change himself as a bad person because he's made so many avatars that are doing the wrong thing that it's overshadowing the small amount that are doing the right thing.
Okay.
I'm not actually in real life hurting anybody, but you've made these literal avatars doing this bad thing.
Okay.
So it starts to overtake you.
Okay.
And the original being starts to become evil.
It's like a kid playing Minecraft or something, and they're just
1,000 times
doing
yeah.
violent things or something.
Yeah, for 1,000,000 of them.
And it's like, well, it's just a game.
Yeah.
But it's like, right, but all you do in there is the wrong thing.
Yeah. Okay, well then I've made a few where I do the right thing.
Okay.
So then, well, what would be the influence on the kid at that point? Okay, well, they're really getting into some really nasty things. Like, maybe he's not actually hurting anybody, actually, because he's just at a computer.
Right.
And he's just being violent in fake world.
I see.
Whereas Jesus is like, no, those are literally real. Like when you envision yourself doing something, like think about how radical that is. Jesus literally said, no, you did that.
Yeah.
Like, think about that. We think, no, well, we didn't really. Like, he's just making it's an allegory or whatever the word is. It's like he doesn't really mean that.
Yeah.
He just means that it's bad for me and for my family if I do that. But he's like, no, you literally did it when you thought that. Like, I really thought about that. And I was like, dude, that's like radical.
As if you were in front of a computer screen and you played it out.
Yeah, like there's that, just like I'm saying, there's that multi-simulation. You've created another simulation where you've gone down, and so you can't erase that. Well, that's what my point is. Once you make that simulation, it's running. You've lost control of it.
Yeah.
You've then made a simulation where there is a version of you who did sleep with somebody when you're married, and then that simulation is still running. Well, what's the next natural thing that happens after that? What's the thing that happens after that? And it's like just playing out, and you have no control over it, but you've created another extension of yourself where that's happened. So that's why I'm saying, like, that's the influence starts to become too much because they're doing all these bad things, and then you change.
I see.
Why did this pop into my head? I have no clue.
I don't know. So it's like it's like you create every decision you make creates branching paths, and so if you're always making the wrong decisions, you constantly creating new branches that are going the wrong direction.
And then that is a pull on you in the real world.
Wow.
The real world.
Wow.
I don't know. I was, you just, reading the Bible, and then you just read this stuff, and it's like, wait, did he literally mean? Did he? Yeah, and is it productive? Probably not. It's an interesting. I told Sarah that. I said, Sarah, I'm going to tell you the most ridiculous thing I've ever thought of that I don't actually believe, but I'll sure.
I'm happy to take credit if I end up.
Yeah, exactly. And I told her that, and she said, that's not as crazy as you. And she's not into this multi-simulation thing. I'm not either. But to get Sarah to say that, to even
huge
ponder that, I was like, wow, okay, here we go.
All right, well, now you got to make sure you don't take it a step further so that the next time you bring up something like that, she's like, I need to shut this down now.
Yeah, I know. I have to slowly.
You just be like, okay, cool. Thank you for talking to me about it.
Yeah.
And then just go about your day like you never said it.
Do you think that do you think that this could be true, Josh?
Yes.
All right. Yeah. Good. That's what I wanted. I
think that's interesting.
I don't want you to elaborate. I don't want you to shatter it. I just wanted you to say that I agree. Believe. Okay.